This podcast is part of the Gonna Geek Network. The opinions expressed may not represent other podcasts or affiliates of Gonna Geek. Check out more podcasts at gonnageek.com and get ready because geekiness starts in 3, 2, 1.
You have been granted clearance level 10. Stand by for S.H.I.E.L.D. debriefing. All information to be discussed here is classified and may only be discussed among agents of equal or higher security clearance.
And now it's time for your scheduled debriefing. I'm Agent Stargate Pioneer.
I'm Agent Haley.
And I am Agent Rumdaddy.
Welcome to Legends of S.H.I.E.L.D. podcast. We're talking today about Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Season 1, Episode 19, Providence. What Legends of S.H.I.E.L.D. is a fan-based podcast about Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and the general Marvel universe, because you can't have one without the other. We have some great news today.
Tell us!
We got hacked by Hydra, and our lovely voicemail that I've been spouting out for the last few episodes does simply not exist.
Wah, wah.
So we got a new one. So if you want to call our voicemail line, it's actually toll-free, and it's 844-THE-BUS-1. Or 844-843-2871. How do you guys like that?
Shiny.
I feel like a carpet company.
Yeah, so, hey, anybody out there, if you want to call us about the podcast, if you want to call us about the show, if you want to call us about Marvel in general, hey, go ahead, give us a call. We'd love to hear from you, and we will play it on the podcast.
And it even comes with a snazzy little jingle. 844-THE-BUS-1.
We also got some feedback, even without a voicemail line, which is kind of incredible. We got a shout out from the operator on the Legends podcast.
But I want to give a shout out to folks who are doing the new Legends Shield cast. Very well done, people. Very well done.
Where we were doing a commentary, they are doing an expose.
Yeah, they're doing more of an in-depth analysis, so good on you.
Yes, thank you. And no, we're not part of Hydra. Director Fury brought us in specifically as protectors. We are the protectors of the Legends of S.H.I.E.L.D. podcast. So
I might be part of Hydra.
have to hook you all up to the lie detector test.
They're not admissible in court.
And they only work if you have a conscience.
You are in big trouble,
I guess so.
because there's two of us here who really don't care for humanity a whole hell of a lot.
I've noticed that. We need to have humanity last a little bit longer.
We don't need all of it.
So the Insight program is working for you guys, right? Kill 20 million at a time?
You know, it's not such a bad idea. I said before that we need to thin the herd a little bit.
I think it's coming faster than you think.
Yay!
To the NSA officers listening, we're joking.
No, they're not.
Gosh, learn sarcasm.
Well, at least I have some people that agree with me. Our very own Stephen Wandrew at the Gonna Geek Network actually agreed with me about the communications array.
SP, was that you that had the theory that his grave will be a communication center for people who he wants to know?
That was me.
That was cool. Yeah, I like that.
That'd be interesting.
That would be.
See?
It didn't sound like he thought you were right as much as he thought it was a cool idea.
Yeah, I would have to agree with Haley on that.
Come on. I had to
2 against 1, dude. 2 against 1.
I had to work him over hard just to plug our podcast
Phrasing.
this week. Yeah, that too. Because he ranted about the whole movie episode thing. He couldn't actually watch the show because he couldn't see the movie for a week later. So he ranted about it last week on the Gonna Geek podcast for 15 minutes, and he never plugged the show. So I ripped him a new one, and he spent most of this week's Gonna Geek apologizing. So thank you very much, Stephen. Also known as Big Papa, but we have given him a new nickname within the Gonna Geek Network. It is hashtag Big Blind Toss Papa Wandrew.
Big what? Papa?
Blind toss. Because he just throws stuff at you. Like, you talking about a news story or whatever, and he just throws it to you, and you're like, I haven't read this. What do you want me to talk about? Anyway. But talking about people that agree with me, Jay, who's my co-host on the Starling Tribune podcast. That's an Arrow TV show podcast. He also is the host of the Gallifrey Public Radio Doctor Who podcast on the Gonna Geek Network. Anyway.
Which I might be joining soon.
Are you really?
Have you been asked?
Yes.
This is such an incestuous family.
It is. So I set you up. You got all the good mics and everything, and then he just waltzes in and just
He's like,
infringes
by the
on-
way,
You sound so great on Legends of S.H.I.E.L.D. We just want to steal you away for a little bit. They can't have you!
Well, congratulations, Haley.
Thank you.
If this happens, I know I love listening to that podcast. It is my favorite Doctor Who podcast.
But he had some thoughts.
Hey guys, Jay here. I was just calling to say that as much as I want to agree with Haley and Rummy, I have to agree with Stargate Pioneer. I think that Coulson and Hand came up with the plan to get Ward into Garrett's confidence and track down as much of the Hydra network as they can. I would love it if Ward remained a villain because I feel like it makes him so much more interesting. But I really think that it'll be revealed towards the end of the season or maybe even early next season that he was just a plant and that Hand pulled a Fury and isn't actually dead and that they were just working together the whole time to work this out. I don't think that Zola will likely be revealed as a clairvoyant just because he's in the Cat movies and that's where he lives. Granted, they did set the precedent with Lady Sif of bringing characters from the movies into the show, but I don't know if they'd reveal that Zola is still, quote unquote, alive or, had a backup computer brain somewhere in this show. I think that's something that they'll probably keep for the movies. But I could easily be wrong about that. But anyway, I love what you guys are doing with the show, and I look forward to watching this all play out with you.
See, as much as he hated to agree with me, he still agreed with me.
He obviously said that before watching this week's episode.
Yeah, well, I've got solutions for all that. I mean, we're talking...
Oh, please, enlighten
We're talking
us.
life model decoys were brought in, right? So he could be big bad guy. Yeah, all right.
I'm sorry, what was that?
I'm still right. Words out. Actually, I'll have to modify my stance because remember that machine that kind of got in the minds of Reyna that they were trying to slip Coulson into to figure out what was going on in his mind. I'm pretty sure the clairvoyant, who we now know as Garrett, which I think is still misleading. I think it's still Zola, but that's another point.
No, I think it's Garrett, without a shadow of a doubt.
Yeah, I think this episode pretty much solidified that it's him.
It solidified two things, Garrett and Wade. But go ahead.
Well, I think
Move on.
Garrett put Wade in the mind thing, and he's been fracked over ever since he was 16. But he's really good at heart.
Are you guys talking about Ward?
Yes.
I do not think he is.
All right.
I will say, I think he's loyal to Garrett and not Hydra.
Right, I agree. I would concur
I don't
with that.
even think Garrett's loyal to Hydra.
Well, he said that last episode that he's not 100% Hydra, but it's the prevailing wind.
Yes, that's exactly what he said. Very good memory, sir. And you said you drink, you're old, and you forget, and your mind is Swiss cheese.
It is Swiss cheese. I only remember certain things. There's holes in it, and I'm actually having a little bit of my namesake right now because I actually got home early from work.
Yes. Well, we do have some news this week.
Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is definitely getting a second season.
Yay! We get a podcast for another year. Actually, it's more than a year, isn't it?
Well, did they say how many episodes they picked it up for? Was it 22? Was it 13?
I didn't read how many episodes. I assumed it was a full second season.
But what they are doing that's very interesting is that they will be airing 13 episodes of Agent Carter.
Woot.
Yes, this is awesome. Especially since the show has evolved to the point where Hydra has always been in S.H.I.E.L.D. Probably since World War II. We're going to see Carter fight the beginnings of it. And so it's going to be great. It's all tied together. Hashtag it's all tied together. It's all connected. But you know what I thought today?
No.
I saw the new X-Men trailer.
They come out with a brand new trailer every week.
They do.
So
yes. So
I'm kind of over it at this point.
The premise of the trailer is Wolverine has to go back and save the day because Sentinels are coming in and killing everybody, not just the mutants, but everybody on Earth. So they go back and try to fix things or whatever. At least that's the premise that we're getting in the trailers.
So they're hitting the reset button.
If it's truly hashtag it's all connected, Agent Carter should be in this new X-Men movie.
But she's not because they don't own the rights. We established
Right.
that.
So hashtag it's not all connected.
Everything they own is all connected. That just wouldn't fit in the hashtag.
Everything who owns Marvel? Marvel doesn't own anything right now.
Disney owns everything.
Well, no, because Sony owns some of it.
Disney's going to buy them all out. Disney's going to buy Sony, Universal, Fox. We're all going to be one big happy sci-fi family.
The only thing I think they have a chance of getting back in the near future is Fantastic Four, because I'm betting the next movie tanks just as much as the first ones.
Probably. It'd be nice to have Spidey around.
Not going to happen. Spidey makes way too much money.
Yeah, they'll never let go of that.
Did you guys see the electromagnetic web slinging thing that was on Gizmodo?
I didn't.
No.
Some guy actually made some web slingers that's electromagnetic based.
And somebody has way too much time on that.
I don't know about that. I think it could be a big seller.
Nah, I'm sure it will. I'm sure he'll make millions.
Do you know what's possibly not making millions right now? Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Well, that's because they tore up the bus, which, by the way, Haley, we really need to get a Dyson in here and clean up all this broken glass. It's still all over the place.
I got to fix the grounding wires.
Can we stop by Lowe's or Home Depot and get some of that, tinted glass that we can put up on the inside?
We could make the bus a lowrider plane.
Maybe we should stop at a gas station first.
You also have to fix that leak in the fuel line.
You know what I was thinking? So all these windows get blown up on the inside. Panes of glass that were supposed to be walls are all chewed up and shot up or whatever. But yet the computer screen is pristine. No bullet holes in it whatsoever.
No, but there's a reason all those panes of glass are broken. It's symbolic because they all had the S.H.I.E.L.D. logo on them and they were destroyed.
All right, so are all the coffee cups destroyed?
No, because Garrett's still drinking out of one.
I know. He was in the basement of a Cuban barber shop with a S.H.I.E.L.D. coffee mug in his hand. I'm like, dude. And by the way, let us not forget they were in Havana and
he's wearing turtlenecks.
Turtlenecks.
Yes, Kira
pointed that one.
Yeah, Kira, that one.
I had that note too.
Hey, I've been to Havana. Yes, I have. You are not allowed to ask me how I got to Havana.
You can legally get to Havana through third-party countries. You just can't get there straight from the United States.
Well, okay, let me put it this way. The embargo is not traveling to Cuba. The embargo is spending any money at all in Cuba. You can charter planes going to Cuba now because everything's always changing. You can get to Cuba. You're just not allowed to spend any money at all while you're there, unless you go as part of a learning expedition. You're a bunch of teachers or reporters or some kind of a group.
Well, that's interesting. So, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., I mentioned they weren't making money, but they actually went up in their ratings a little bit. The 9 p.m. time slot of this week got a rating of 5.01. And Turn is still pulled a 3+. So there are still people watching this. It's just not in the 10 million range, which I believe the show ultimately needs to get to sustain itself.
Well, here's the thing, especially with the episodes that are airing right now, there's a lot of people out there who are fans who have not had the opportunity to see Captain America Winter Soldier. And word has gotten out that to see Turn, and Providence, you have to see Captain America or else it'll spoil the movie for you. So a lot of people have been waiting until they go and see the movie before they catch up. There's a lot of people in our circle of friends who we've talked to who were postponing catching up on S.H.I.E.L.D. because they want to see the movie first.
I don't know why they picked, cramming it in between back-to-back episodes. Why didn't they take, a week off before and a week off after?
Or a summer hiatus.
Or not even that. I mean, they've been off and on for the last couple of months. They've had breaks in their schedules. So I think they should have taken the break around the premiere of the movie to give people a chance to see it and then come back and see the show.
Yeah, there's a lot of things in play here. First of all, we'll have to say that Disney owns everything in play here. They own ABC, they own Marvel, so you think they could have kind of orchestrated something a little bit better. So that's number one. And yes, Haley, I think they kind of failed there. But number two, the cinematic universe is where all the money is right now. I mean, you're talking about movies that are getting somewhere between 600 million and over $1 billion per movie. That is phenomenal money for each of these movies. And it's a sure thing at this point in time, although we'll have to see with Guardians of the Galaxy. But right now, for the past few movies, it's been 400, 500, 600 million, 1.2 million. I mean, the best movie ever grossing with Avengers. There's a lot of money involved there. There isn't that same money with the TV. So the tail of TV is not wagging the dog. But ABC, you're absolutely right, could have done a little better job. I think they did a pretty good job in leading up to it. That Marvel creating a universe special that they had on. It should have been the week of the movie, in my opinion. They could have had a 1 week buffer here, and they did not take that for whatever reason.
Well, that's why I say it would have worked out much better had they done it over the summer hiatus that is usually taken in network television. They could have ended it with a cliffhanger leading up to Winter Soldier, and then you have all summer for everybody to catch up and watch the movie, and then you come back and you start with the fallout.
Yeah, they probably will in the future. I think they will take a look at this and see how it failed and see where it succeeded too, because they're probably getting new viewers because of it. It's just not showing yet in the ratings because there are still those holdouts out there that have not seen the movie, and they all know to go see the movie before seeing the episode. I mean, in our Captain America Winter Soldier episode that we did, we put extensive spoiler alerts at the beginning. You need to go see the movie before you listen to our podcast. When the Legends guys did their podcast on it, they did the same thing. Beef and Wing, they said, look, you need to see the movie before you listen to the podcast.
I hate those guys.
Those guys.
They're the worst.
I hate those guys. God, they ruin everything. They're just like Gwyneth Paltrow.
Wing, I just can't keep these guys in line. I need a little help. Jeez, I'm trying to give you whatever.
What I wouldn't give to drop the F-bomb as often as they do.
Yes. We've transitioned to a cleaner show so the kids can listen, but yes. Maybe they'll let you on the show every once in a while and you can drop every F-bomb you want, but you can't do that here yet. So, anyway, those were the ratings for this week. When we went into this, I said it was going to get a bump of a point or two. So hopefully next week we will see a bump into the 6 or 7 range. I'm not holding my breath too much, though.
I would expect it to kind of build up to the finale, but I don't know if it's going to be 6 next week. But I do expect it to be higher.
I wonder what their availability of the series is going to be off season, because Walking Dead and Mad Men and shows like that, Game of Thrones, I'll throw that in there as well, have really increased their viewership over their off seasons by providing the previous episodes in highly consumable fashion, like Netflix or Amazon Prime on the free side. People are going to start picking it up, and I think that's how you build an audience in this day and age, but I'm not in the industry, so I wouldn't know.
I would agree with that.
Yeah, I know. I've talked to a couple of people that are like, yeah, I kind of want to get into the show, but, only the last 5 episodes are available on Hulu.
You're right, and I'm really hoping that they take the entire series and they put it on Netflix, and everybody gets a chance to catch up and watch it during the summer, and then it picks up again in the fall with the next season.
Yeah, I hope so. It seems like the only way to build an audience in this day and age. I mean, I was that way with Archer. So people were telling me about Archer. I didn't watch it for the first 2 seasons, and then they were available on Netflix in the off season, and I got caught up, and it's great. So thank you very much to the people at Archer for doing that.
That's how I got caught up with Breaking Bad and Once Upon a Time. I watched them all on Netflix, and then the final season, I was like, okay, I'm good, let's go.
So, you guys got any other news, or are we ready to go full bore into the episode of Providence?
There's going to be a Captain America 3.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Oh, yeah.
And it's coming out on the same day as the Superman-Batman movie.
Yes, and the DC people aren't too happy about that.
I cannot think that those 2 studios are going to go head-to-head and split the box office, and that's exactly what they're doing. I don't care how good either movie is, they are going to split the box office that weekend.
Yeah, they're going to screw each other over. But the guys on Legend I listened to them the other day, they brought this topic up, and here's the thing. I kind of see Wing's point of view, and I kind of see Beef's point of view.
I see Op's point of view, too. He's at the popcorn stand.
By the way, my favorite, popcorn and Snowcaps together.
Ooh,
Try it sometime.
I'm a Milk Duds guy.
Bunch of crunch.
Dude, have you ever gotten hit with duds? They hurt.
They do. They do, but you chew them and they last in your mouth for a while and they don't make
They pull out
noise.
fillings. Dude, that was a Night of the Comet reference. Okay, don't worry about it. I already know neither one of you have ever seen Night of the Comet.
Night of the Comet?
Comet. I'm stuffed up a little bit. Comet. Night of the Comet.
Oh, I love getting you riled up.
Ugh. Anyway, I know.
You rile him up and you say he can't curse?
Yeah, I know. It's great. I've tied his hands
He's
behind
just
the back.
explode.
I'm turning green.
It's-
Okay, I'm turning green.
It's like podcasting in a chair where you're ratcheted to.
Where was I? I lost my train of thought.
You're in Cuba.
Toot toot. No, I wasn't in Cuba. I mean, I've been to Cuba, but I'm
Look
not
at the
in
flowers,
Cuba.
Will. Just
Yeah, look at the flowers. A Walking Dead reference for any of you that don't get that.
The pretty, pretty flowers. Okay. I seriously, I completely lost my train of thought. Oh, okay. So you're at the multiplex, and you can see either one or the other one. And the point of view that I was sticking to is the fact that I know I'm going to go and see Captain America, but I'm kind of curious as to see what's going on with Superman versus Batman. Now, the problem with Superman versus Batman is that I hate Zack Snyder. I hate him. I think he's a terrible director. I just talked myself out of going to see Batman versus Superman and seeing Captain America instead.
I'm going to pull a Sean here.
Yes.
I'm going to win this because I am going to go see these movies back to back at a drive-in.
Oh,
You can't. They've shut down most of the drive-ins in this country.
Not here.
There are still some available around here.
Yeah, I have one around here too.
So there you go. I just won the internet.
Yeah, I think DC's going to move theirs.
I think so too. Because they've got nothing leading up to it, right? It's blank up to the Superman Batman movie, right?
Yeah, it's standing alone by itself.
And we've got Guardians of the Galaxy, we've got Avengers 2, we've got Ant-Man and Doctor Strange, and then Cap 3, right?
I don't know about Doctor Strange. I don't know if Doctor Strange is going to
Yeah,
be
I don't know if they've announced a date yet for Doctor Strange.
So you have a bunch of movies leading up to it and a continual story. And oh, by the way, this television series, now 2 television series over here, whereas Superman and Batman, the best they have right now is the Arrow TV series, which gets decent ratings for CW, but it's about 2 million a week. And you get Gotham coming up, but it's not the current Gotham. It's Gotham in the past. And then you have a Flash TV series, which I don't know how connected the Arrow and the Flash TV series are going to be to the DC cinematic universe.
From what I understand, not at all.
Yeah.
The TV and movie are just completely separate.
Right.
That's the thing about DC. Now, correct me if I'm mistaken, because I only saw the first season of Smallville, but I know that Green Arrow is a prominent character in Smallville, and then they created the TV show Arrow, and it really doesn't have a lot to do with Smallville at all. It's completely different. The DC universe is not a universe. It's not one whole.
Yeah, and I think they're going to start down that road with the Superman Batman movie, and even the Marvel universe wasn't all together until they got down the road with Iron Man and Hulk. And
No, because they had the shawarma at the end of every single one of their movies that kind of tied it together.
The first movie was Iron Man. The next one was The Incredible Hulk, and Robert Downey Jr. was at the end of it.
yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so it was connected, but it wasn't this big thing back then. It is a big thing now. And I think DC could do that if they so choose. But they've got a lot of threads to pull together.
Yeah, they've got everything all over the place. I mean, the Dark Knight trilogy is one thing. The Superman versus Batman that's coming up, I don't think it's going to have anything to do with the Dark Knight series that we just got done
Right.
No.
seeing.
it's
Right
not.
before Iron Man, though, there was a Hulk movie that was disavowed, and they had to make another one. So
No, but those two Hulk movies actually,
They can work together if you want them to.
yeah,
you know,
because in
so
the
choose
opening
not.
credits of the second Hulk movie, they were showing scenes from the first Hulk movie.
I have always missed that.
Yeah, a lot of those news clippings and stuff they show.
Go figure.
It's just you'd have to rewatch that first Hulk movie again to notice it, and I wouldn't wish that upon you.
I still win. Drive-in theater. If they
Okay, you win.
if they air on the same night, or the same weekend or whatever, that's what's going to happen. You know what would be funny is if they start vying with each other and start moving their release date up like one day, like, oh, we're going to release on Thursday. No, we're going to release on Wednesday. Oh, we're going to release on Tuesday. Yeah, I could see that happening.
I find a flaw in your plan.
Okay.
No drive-in that wants to make any money whatsoever would be showing those two movies on the same screen.
I beg to differ. I think it would be awesome.
Beg all you want.
I think you've got a variety of audience out there, from the kids to the grandparents, that are going to love to see both of these movies.
Right, but you would make so much more money if you have one on one screen and one on another screen.
Well, drive-ins
And you
don't
can
have more than one screen usually.
At least not the ones around here. But
I will
okay,
think about that.
you're right. Like in your area where you have a multiple screen complex, you're probably right.
We have a drive-in that I have to drive 45 minutes to.
Which is, 3 blocks away? It is L.A. after all.
That's true. I could just, watch them outside my window.
So do we have any other news for the week?
What, you want to talk about the episode or something?
I do. I want to talk about Providence. I really, really, really do.
I think I'm done. I'm going to go, guys. Bye.
Great chatting.
Okay, I'll send the file to you. You can edit this week. How about that?
You got it.
Okay. So yeah, Providence. When we were talking about this last week, first of all, I had no idea Providence was going to be the name of the secret base, which is technically unnamed. But also, you remember I said I just don't get why Coulson would bug out. Well, we found out, didn't we?
Yeah, it had something to do with a really terrible mustache.
Yeah, he's trying to escape from it.
I was excited to see Adrian Pastar in the credits as Colonel Talbot. His face comes up and he had this caterpillar laying across his lip. You could still see the spirit gum around the edges of where they glued it on.
They didn't even get it straight.
I know, I noticed that too.
He probably came in, was half plastered, slapped the mustache on, he did his thing, and he went on.
That was a $3,000 day, and he spent 15 minutes in a chair.
Right. That whole thing was great. Oh, Peacekeeping Force. Sounds good. This doesn't sound good.
For those that don't know, Glenn Talbot is usually Thunderbolt Ross's second in command, and they're hunting down the Hulk together.
So, how did you like Raina's red dress?
She really likes flowers a lot.
Who doesn't like flowers?
I want to know where she got all the magazines to make those,
I don't think those are
lotuses.
Magazines, but I think they were either comic book covers or comics.
Oh, that would be brilliant.
How many of those flowers did she have in her room? Looked like a few dozen. And Garrett actually calls her flowers later on, and she does not like it, does she?
The woman in the flower dress, that's her handle, basically. So that's how everybody remembers who she is. I don't even remember her first name.
Raina.
Raina, okay.
And Raina thinks Coulson is a good man.
Well, yeah, because she's a little disenfranchised with Garrett at that point.
A little?
A little bit.
Yeah, he does not have a gift. He has a security clearance.
Oh, and by the way, I'm thinking there's a possibility that Coulson may know about Ward. He handed his phone over to Skye and was like,
yes.
Call him.
Right.
And that exchange there, I feel like he's setting her up.
Yes.
And that's the first time that I was just like, damn it, SP is right.
Yes.
Not completely right. Smidgen right.
I think there's something there. I do. I saw that phone handoff and I was like, ooh, in all fairness, there is a lot that happens in this episode that you're like, oh, he is so not a S.H.I.E.L.D. agent anymore. He is totally a Hydra agent.
No, they hammer you over the head with it.
He shoots the guards in the elevator. He gives up Gravitron or what Gravitonium or whatever it is.
By the way, I love it when they give him really stupid names. And my favorite stupid name, and this is one of the reasons I really hate Avatar, is Unobtainium.
Mm-hmm.
Really? That was the best you could do?
As an engineer, I loved it because we talk about Unobtainium all the time.
Gravitonium. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, Gravitonium. He's growing out his bad guy goatee.
That's what I thought, too. I was like, oh, he's going to wear a goatee now that we know he's evil.
And the whole thing about him flipping back and forth, of him playing the loose bad guy that owes everything to Garrett, versus having to stand it and say, I am Agent Ward of S.H.I.E.L.D. or whatever he says while he's getting hit by Garrett over and over just to get into the persona. There is definitely things that make me think I am wrong, but I'm going to stick with it. I don't think Ward is a Hydra agent completely. I think he's at least doubling agent, and I think Coulson knows. I don't think Hand is dead either.
She's dead.
Life model decoy.
Dead.
She's in Gabriel Garcia land. Dead.
Pushing up daisies, pining for the fjords. She's alive.
She's dead. Her and Sitwell are sitting around a campfire.
Show me Sitwell's body before I believe he's dead.
Oh, no.
You see that smear on
there.
that truck? That's what's left of Sitwell.
They didn't show any smear. There's nothing. They didn't show it.
Yeah, there's nothing left because he's a splat on the windshield.
I won't believe it until I see the splat.
Hand and Sitwell have opened up a coffee shop with Shirley Temple and Mickey Rooney. Dead.
There's a quartet. Anyway. So, Haley, you're an engineer.
Yes.
How do you fix trying to fix the ramp?
That's exactly how you fix things.
You ignore advice, throw together what you think is right, and it blows up in your face.
And then you're like, okay, I'm going to fix it now.
I like the girly screech that he let out when it blew up.
It was fantastic.
So I do have an important note with Fitz and Simmons. So they're out in the snow and they have this little moment, like Fitz is like, good, I don't want this to change. And I think he's talking about his relationship with Simmons, not everything that's happened around them. And Simmons is looking at him like, oh, but it already has changed. She has moved on and she likes people like Triplet, and she is not enamored with him romantically anymore, even if she ever was.
This whole episode, it seemed like he was jealous and uncomfortable with the relationship between Simmons and Triplet.
Mm-hmm.
She sees him as a little brother or a twin brother.
I would say twin,
So.
because they basically have grown up together. But I thought that was interesting to note. I also thought it was interesting that she stood up for Triplet, as she would have, because, you know, he put his life on the line for her with the confrontation with Hand, but I still say Triplet's got something up his sleeve. I think he's sticking close to Simmons until he figures out what the GH325 is. Haley, what was your biggest thing in the episode?
Well, just at the very beginning, they had the barbershop chair that went down into the Hydra cave.
Yes.
The very first issue of Strange Tales that had a Nick Fury story in it. That's how he got down into the S.H.I.E.L.D. headquarters. And I was just like, oh, it's awesome.
I love that shout out.
What was your favorite part of the episode, Will?
I just like little call outs. One thing that I just thought was really funny, and it's really tiny, when Garrett is talking to Ward about his relationship with Skye, and he said, you have a candy crush on Centipede's tail. I'm like, are we playing video games now?
Well, yeah, obviously, they were talking about Call of Duty, too.
Yeah, they were. Yeah, they were.
So
a lot of little references. I love seeing Patton Oswalt as Eric Koenig.
That was awesome. And he played that so well, didn't he? He plays this like lovable goofball, but you get Coulson behind the closed door, and all of a sudden he flips real quick, doesn't he? It's like, do we have a problem?
What was the quote that he said 100%?
The question was, are you threatening me? And he said, absolutely, 100%.
Must be nice to be young and have a memory like that.
Yeah, I wonder what that's like.
I don't know.
So Eric Koenig happens to come from the comic books. That's actually a character, but the character existed during World War II and was part of Hammer.
He was one of Nick Fury's Howling Commandos. Yep.
Exactly. But I don't think he's playing the same character here. I think it's just a shout out.
I've actually delved a little bit into this, and I think the current Nick Fury that we're seeing on screen is actually the son of the World War II Nick Fury. It's actually second generation Nick Fury, but I could be mistaken on that. I mean, they haven't said one way or the other, so...
Well, just in this universe, Captain America led the Howling Commandos instead of Fury.
There you go. So my favorite part of the episode was Coulson. And how could you not? The man just is so pivotal in this entire episode. And I'll give you two examples. One, as Coulson's walking around the bus as they're leaving the hub, he's like going to Fitz and asking, well, what's the best way to hide? And he's like, well, we can't because only helicarriers have cloaking technology. And he says, great. And then he goes by Simmons. She's like, well, we're fully stocked on medicine, but we only have food rations for a couple of days. And he says, perfect. And then Triplet comes in and he says, well, fuel line's busted. And he says, awesome. And then he goes up to Skye and she goes, we have internet. He goes, yay. Boy, do I have lowered expectations. That whole thing was him trusting his people, but he just knows that the situation is not all that great. Conversations that he has right there sets the seeds for the next thing that I think was the best thing of the episode. Just before he throws the badge and the machine guns shoot the badge, he has one awesome monologue. We are not agents of nothing. This has to mean something. This has to have weight.
And that monologue that he had reminded me very much of what Mike Peterson said in the pilot. Like, you know, who I am, if I'm a good person, that has to mean something.
I had so forgotten about that.
What I liked about it was that he was also talking to the audience. They are still S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yep. So, Haley, what do you think about the badge, the coordinates on the badge?
It was a way to move the plot along.
And I looked it up. It is in Canada, and it is south of Hudson Bay in Canada.
Canardia?
Canardia.
I was like, oh, they're going to find the base where they made Wolverine.
Mm-hmm. See, crossing the streams again.
It's all
I'm
connected.
telling you, it's cool. Hashtag, it's not all connected.
Are you slapping your two fingers together? Hashtag.
No, I'm not, actually, but I'll start doing that.
Speaking of hand gestures, how about the guy that did the Hail Hydra salute with both arms?
That was great.
Looked like a cheerleader in a West Texas
pep rally.
Pep rally, yeah.
Oh, I was laughing so hard I couldn't even say it.
So did you guys notice when they were down in the fridge, Ward picked up the Berserker staff again?
Yes, I made a note of that.
Yep. And apparently several of the people that were let out have ties to the greater Marvel universe.
We're going to see a bunch of them again. That's where the show starts becoming serialized, where he even said this will keep Coulson busy for a while. Mm-hmm. And this is where it's going to start. You're going to see episodes where the whole thing is going after one of them. And so those are going to be filler episodes between the higher arc episodes of finding out who everybody is and S.H.I.E.L.D. and Hydra.
And Hydra does use gas. They just didn't have any for Cap, I guess.
Well, Coulson says something that I keyed on. Fury gave me this plane. So I think this plane is going to have a few more surprises that even Coulson doesn't know about that Fury does.
Fury is just moving all the pawn pieces around.
He does, and he had suspected Hydra. I mean, that was the whole thing about hijacking the sea launch boat. Anywho, so next week we have Amy Ackers coming in as the cellist, which is going to be so cool.
I love her. She's so pretty, and she's such a great actress.
She is amazing. Her charisma on screen, I'm just captivated by her. She is quickly... I watch her in Person of Interest. I know I've said that before. Between her and Agent Shaw on that show, they are definitely the two best characters on the show, and neither were on the show when it first started.
How is that show? I never really got into it.
You know, it's a little bit of the Monster of the Week sort of thing, but if you take a look at the larger story arcs in it, it is just phenomenal. It's an example of a universe that they will call back something at any point in time, and I just like that sort of thing. So it's pretty.
If you want to keep SP watching your show, fill it with callbacks.
Yeah, there you go. Except for the last episode of How I Met Your Mother. Ugh, don't get me started on that.
You know, I still haven't seen the last episode.
You don't.
I was never really into that show. I mean, I would catch random episodes here and there and laugh and really enjoy it, but I never followed it. And I saw the penultimate one, but I never got to see the final one.
Yeah, you're not missing anything. If you ever do see it, we'll talk, but I have my own theories on how they should have done it. They wrote themselves into a corner from day one, and there's just no way out of it. So you guys got anything else about this awesome episode?
I had one more major thing that I wanted to talk about. Eric Koenig tells Coulson that he can't tell his team that Fury's alive.
Yes.
So this is putting Coulson in the position that May was in, where he has to lie to everybody. And I'm wondering if that's going to be the way that he ends up forgiving May, as he understands where she was coming from.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think there's going to be a little bit of that. We've seen a lie detector. We've seen Skye, gasping, probably when she figures out Ward is actually playing for the other team. It's going to be hard to beat this one.
Now, I got a question. Is Ward actually playing for the other team, or is he just working with Hydra?
Everybody's his type.
No, he's everybody's type.
Either way.
He's everybody's type.
Same thing, right?
Oh, how did you guys like his acting, not reacting, to How Did You Win Over S.H.I.E.L.D., and he redid his scene from the very first episode?
I think it's a great justification for his wooden acting. It's not that he's a bad actor, it's that Ward is a bad actor.
You're right. You know what? I think because he's such a bad actor, I think that's why I just want him to be part of Hydra and am convinced he's going to be killed off.
Possibly. I'm not going to leave that off the table. I just think the way the show is and who they're trying to pander to, I think he's going to end up with a good heart, at least.
He'll end up redeeming himself, but he'll be dead.
Yeah, at this point in time, I hope he is, because he's done way too many bad things. And I said that going in. I said he was going to have to do some bad things, but it's starting to grate on me.
Oh, by the way, we cannot end this episode without bringing up a complaint from one of our listeners and a very good friend, Jeannie, about shooting at the chopper when the chopper is shooting back.
All right.
Who does that?
I'm a specialist. I'm on top of a roof. I have nowhere to go. Like, I can't jump off and land into a swimming pool or something. I'm going to die if I jump off. I have one weapon on me. If I get
You're not stuck on the roof because they're your people.
I know, but
they're your people.
You're
not stuck on a roof.
Well, so it's all a play anyway, so it doesn't matter. But if it was a real life situation, I would take the only weapon I had and hope to get a lucky shot in.
I would hide.
He's kind of doing that too.
Okay, when I am evil overlord, I will not hire guards that will fall for something that stupid. That's like breaking in 101. Come on, guys.
It would have been so easy just to like let them behind the bulletproof glass and then say, okay, now phone hand.
Well, they could have killed the guys and taken his card and gotten in the elevator on their own. They didn't have to kill him in the elevator. They could have killed him outside the elevator.
It was just too good of a line. And, I watched it a couple of times, and I didn't think it was that good of a line, but that's just me.
Here's another thing. There aren't that many people guarding this place. The fridge is supposed to be their most highly secured. What, there were 2 guys upstairs, and, who the hell knows who was downstairs? Not very secure.
Maybe they were just waiting for their next supply run.
When I am evil overlord, I'm telling you.
When is that going to be?
This is all going to change.
Next Tuesday.
Haley,
next Tuesday.
I think our evil overlord is actually the monarch.
I can be an evil overlord very easily. Just you wait and see.
Are you going to have a flying beehive?
I'm wearing my beehive.
So, go ahead, Haley.
Oh, I was just going to say, Garrett has all of these different vials that he got from whatever was in the Tahiti tank.
Yes.
I'm really hoping one of those leads to Ms. Marvel.
Haley for the win again. You're really climbing on to this Ms. Marvel thing. You're just not letting it go.
No, because there's no reason not to have Ms. Marvel.
Agent 13.
I have to agree with her. No, I mean, we need a good, strong female superhero.
Agent 13.
No, that's a hero, not a superhero.
You can make her a superhero. That'd be fine with me.
And she could turn into Miss Marvel.
Yeah, she could.
Do you guys remember? Never mind. You guys are way too young. But there was a Saturday morning, and it wasn't a cartoon. It was a live-action series, and it was every week. It was either Isis or Captain Marvel. And Captain Marvel was this young kid, Billy, and this old guy traveling around America in a Winnebago, and trouble would arise, and Billy would turn into Captain Marvel and fly around and save the day.
Are you sure this wasn't an episode of Venture Brothers?
No, it wasn't Venture Brothers. I remember the chick who played Isis. She had this necklace, and she'd pull it out of her blouse, and she'd say, "Oh, almighty Isis," and all of a sudden she would turn into the goddess Isis, and she would be able to fly. I don't know why that gave her flying abilities, but she would do that, and the following week, there would be the Captain Marvel adventures, and Billy would turn into Captain Marvel, and Captain Marvel had a half cape, and I always thought he was going to wait tables because he had a half cape, but it was pretty silly, and he always, you look at it now, and it's kind of creepy because you got this old man and this strapping young teenage boy traveling around the country in a Winnebago.
You mean like Batman and Robin?
Also creepy.
So the only flying Winnebago I remember was in Spaceballs.
No, the Winnebago didn't fly. Captain Marvel flew. And Billy would turn into Captain Marvel. And Billy was 5'6", and Captain Marvel was 6'2".
You sure you're not talking about the Billy from Beverly Hills Cop?
No! Okay, if anybody out there remembers this, please let us know.
Call our voicemail line.
Call our voicemail line. And let us know.
1-844 the bus 1 or 844-843-2871.
844 the bus 1.
We got ourselves a jingle.
We might have to pay copyrights for that, but I won't tell them if you don't.
I'm not going to. So the bumper. Ian Quinn gets out. He's really mad because he's been having to eat meatloaf without a fork.
Wah, wah.
And he finds out the Clairvoyant is not really the Clairvoyant. But guess what? He's got a gift.
A shiny new toy.
Well, it was his to begin with.
The guy that plays Ian Quinn, his name is David Conrad. And every time he comes up on camera, I always think he's Sasha Ruiz from Caprica and Grimm.
See, he reminds me of Tom O'Pennicott.
He reminds me of this guy that committed suicide on Continuum.
Way to bring the house down.
Spoilers.
Wah, wah.
Then y'all watch it anyway.
I did if I had cable.
Cable? It's on Netflix, man. You have seen some episodes of Continuum, I know.
Oh, wait, no, I know who you're talking about. Yes. You're right. He does remind me of him.
Thank you. Finally.
I'm patting your head.
Yeah.
Calm. Look at the flowers.
So it was definitely a fun-filled episode, fun, entertaining. I think it was definitely the best one they've ever pumped out, and it's going to be hard to top. I'm looking forward to them trying.
I'm expecting it to just keep building all the way to the finale from this point forward.
So am I.
So next week, it indeed is the 19th episode, The Only Light in the Darkness. We will be podcasting on that next week, and hopefully we'll get that out before we all head off to Las Vegas for Geekation 2014.
And then the podcast after that.
We will all still be hungover.
Yeah. I've decided today that I'm taking SP to the top of the stratosphere and strapping him onto that rope and pushing him off.
Mm-hmm.
Why are you strapping him onto the rope?
You're right. There's all sorts of fun things that I'm discovering to do in Vegas that's not gambling, which is weird because I really love to gamble. Mm-hmm. It's a family thing. But there's, you can do the bungee cord jump off of there. There's also a roller coaster ride at the top of the stratosphere. You could do the zip line along Fairmont Street.
Biggest Ferris wheel in the world.
Oh, yeah, that's right. The biggest Ferris wheel in the world. I had no idea it existed there.
Yep. I got in on that with penny stock.
Did you really?
Yes, I did. It was my first penny stock investment. I thought, oh, this would be such a cool idea.
Well, now we know who's buying all of our tickets for the ride.
Anyway, you guys got anything else for this episode?
Everyone else will be issued a lanyard on a case-by-case basis.
Everybody has to see Haley for their lanyard. Okay, you got anything else, big guy?
I want to kill the caterpillar on Talbot's lip.
But then he just wouldn't match the comics anymore.
At least dye it a different color. Do something.
I'm sure he will.
Straighten it.
You got to admit, it's probably a better role for him than it was on Heroes.
That started out as a fine role. It just went on for like 3 seasons too long.
3? It was on for what?
3 seasons. No, 3 seasons total. It went
I thought there was a 4th.
No, there was 1 season that was really amazing. And then season 2 all took place in feudal Japan, which actually, when I rewatched that season, the feudal Japan stuff was much more interesting than the stuff that was happening in New York. And then when they wrapped it up for a half season in season 3, which was all of it was
I thought
terrible.
The 3rd season was the one where there was like Siler was going back and forth between it being a good guy and a bad guy, and then there was a 4th season that I didn't watch.
There were 4 seasons.
Ah, told you.
I stand corrected.
Mm-hmm.
It won't be the first time. It won't be the last time. Come on.
Absolutely. We're all going to be right. We're all going to be wrong at some point in time.
I'm wrong more than right many times.
These shiny quarters flying around. So, join us next week as we talk The Only Light in the Darkness, and go to our website, legendsofshield.com. It'll take you right to the Gonna Geek page and go up to the upper right-hand corner. All sorts of great ways to get in touch with us there. We have a Facebook page, Twitter page. We all have emails, Twitters, Facebooks, whatever. You can reach us there. You can reach us at our voicemail line. I will say that again since it's brand new this week. 844-THE-BUS-1.
844-THE-BUS-1.
Or 844-843-2871. Until next week, I'll see you later. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Later.
Thank you for listening. If you want to leave us feedback, go to gonnageek.com and you'll find all of our contact information and other shows. You can also visit legendsofshield.com where you'll find our complete archive of podcasts. The music heard on this podcast is by Kevin MacLeod and can be found at incompetech.com. The opinions heard on this podcast are those of the individual host and do not represent Legends, Stream, or Gonna Geek. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is the property of the Disney Corporation. No infringement is intended.